Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Copperline Rattler Ranch. I'm Julia. I know I said we were going to start back on the house, but we've had some super cold temperatures at night. For example, tonight we got down to 26. We're dipping into the mid to low 20s to even the upper teens, probably all those last couple of weeks in the morning. The daytime's not too bad, but I just don't want to be putting cob on a building and then have something terrible happen to it because the water molecules in it had frozen. So we found a couple in Vail, Susan and Paul, who needed to rehome their chickens. They had 7 adult birds. They also had a couple of coops and this pen for their birds that we went up and we bought from them. So we could rehome them because they're moving out of state and they weren't able to take their birds. They love those birds so much, and they're beautiful birds. We'll show you them when we get them put into the pen. So if you've been with us for any amount of time, actually if you've been from the very start, years ago, we have this space here that we had tried to grow an orchard in. The only tree I've got left growing in here is my pecan tree, and it's kind of suffering. So last year, all the trees in here died off. It just hasn't been a good couple of years for anything to grow in the native soil. And I've learned a lot about growing fruit trees in the desert and about how we need to actually protect the root systems from some of the burrowing animals. Because, for example, the gopher mole, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think so. Will actually strip the outer layer of the roots on trees that are growing, and that can kill the tree. I had no idea. So considering we have a lot of those gopher moles out here, I kind of think that might be what killed most of my trees out here, and that the pecan has maybe been distasteful to them. I don't know. They haven't bothered it. So anyway, we're going to convert this entire area to the new chicken run, and we're going to stop fully free ranging our chickens. So we've got our 7 hens and our rooster, plus the additional 7 hens, and they're all going to be in this enormous space. They really will not feel crowded at all. It's about 35 feet by probably, well, I don't know, almost 100 feet maybe. So it's a good, huge amount of area for that many birds to be in. We've got this pen that we got from Susan and Paul, and then we've got our original pen for the birds that we started with, and that's going to come in here too and be beside this one. We're keeping it about 5 feet away from this fencing on the west side, just to give us some room to go around so none of the birds get trapped back there. Both pens will be in here, not necessarily up against each other, but sort of side by side. Susan and Paul had a roof over their pen to help protect their birds from the heat. So it'll be an advantage because I know all the birds will probably enjoy that pen. So this is what we're doing. It's going to take us quite a little while. By the time we get this done, by next week our temps are supposed to be a whole lot warmer, with our lows getting into like the low to mid 30s, and that'll be a little bit more conducive to the cob that we're going to be doing on that north wall. Well, it took all day to get the pen finished. It's not exactly how we got it. I know we mixed up some of the sides. They're all exactly the same side though. And then this little window area here, this was a place where they had cut Dawn and Paul had cut the shade cloth, and so I just decided to make it a little window. It's on the east side so they get some nice warm morning sun in the morning. We're going to be moving our other pen and coop in this area and getting all the birds introduced on a face-to-face basis. So far, they've only been introduced to each other through the pen walls. We had the new birds in a smaller pen while we got this thing put together, and then we're going to, and so they could see the original birds that we had. And now, once we get the original birds pen moved in here with a coop, we will introduce them. And then, like I said, this is a huge area for all the birds to feel like they're free-ranging without totally being free-ranged. Our concern now is that our birds have become blazingly bold and are going further and further away from their pen and their coop. So we want to get them to stop doing that too, as it puts them at a greater risk for predator attack. So we're pretty much done with what we're going to do in here. We do have a little bit more fence work to do, but they're pretty much fenced in. Dawn's doing some little tweaks on that pen that we got from Susan and Paul, but our pen that we originally started with in the coop are over here. We also have a deck box that we bought, and we're putting all the supplies in for the birds so that they're nearby. Let me take you around and we can see how everything works. All right, that's the deck box that we have. We've got their food, their bedding, any little treats are in there. Dawn's working on tweaking the new pen that we've gotten. In here are the coops that we got with the new birds and the new birds. They like to stay in here. It's kind of nice and shady and cool. And you can see there's somebody in there getting ready to give us an egg. We got to give her privacy. Here we're resting. So those coops are the snap lock coops, just like ours that we got originally, but they're a different size. This is our original coop and pen. Some of our birds waiting their turn for their turn in their nesting boxes. Everybody has their favorite nesting box. And little Mr. Rooster there watching everything. But where I measured, it's 120 feet by 35 feet. So it's a lot of space for the birds. We also moved Loki's pen over here, put Sugar's doghouse in with Loki's pen. We have our guest doghouse. So when Rob and Chrissy bring their dogs down, they have a place that they can sleep that's outside of the chicken pen. So is this one. We also moved the chicken tractor, and that we use when we feel like we need to just run them along the property. We haven't used it in quite a while, and we actually use it as a space to introduce the birds to each other when we get new birds. So that's it. The new chicken run. We'll make some improvements as we go along. We have some bird netting coming that will cover the entire area, help keep the hawks out of sight, and keep our birds protected. Well, that's our video for this week. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in that comment section down below, and we'll see you next time.